President Uhuru Kenyatta today called on Asian economies to use Kenya as a gateway to Africa's market, which has over 1.2 billion, more than 29 trillion of the US dollars. The president made the statement when he delivered his keynote address at Singapore Summit 2019. President Kenyatta gave reference to Kenya as being the best entry point for Asian businesses that want to trade in Africa, with the coming into force with the African Free Continental Trade Area. He also invited them to use Kenya as a gateway to the African continent. He mentioned that it's not only one of the top 10 fastest growing economies in Africa, but it's also one of the most pro-business nations on the continent. The head of state suggested several crucial steps to build up strong foundation for the partnership between Singapore and Kenya, as well as between the Asian and African continents. He said Kenya and Singapore should strengthen cooperation in building and expansion of transport, communication, ICT, energy, housing, infrastructure in Kenya. The president said Kenya is also the leading country in sub-Saharan Africa in terms of ICT and technology penetration, fintech and financial inclusion. His Excellency also said Kenya and Singapore are exploring the modalities for direct flights between the two countries. He said, like Singapore, Kenya is a hub for the whole of Africa and is connected to all parts of the continent and Europe as well as America. In conclusion, the Singapore Summit brings together businesses and thought leaders from Asia and around the world to discuss global trends in business, finance, and geopolitics.
I today invite you to use Kenya as a gateway to the African continent. This is not only one of the top 10 fastest growing economies on the African continent, but it is also one of the most pro-business nations in that continent. Our country has improved dramatically in the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business Index, jumping 107 places from our 2012 position to our present position of number 61 globally and third on the African continent. Kenya is also the leading country in sub-Saharan Africa in terms of ICT and technology penetration, fintech and financial inclusion, with our mobile cellular subscription currently standing at 95% of our population of more than 45 million. Kenya has learned to leverage on our strength in ICT and mobile cellular subscription to become the global leader in mobile money and mobile banking. Our world-famous M-Pesa mobile money platform has promoted financial inclusion in our country and provided a template for reaching conventionally unbanked populations across the region. Our potential for e-commerce and exciting new frontiers within this new economy have barely been scratched, and I invite willing business partners and investors to come in with us in these areas to access the vibrant Kenyan market as well as the wider continental market. As we seek economic and social partnerships with ASEAN countries, I will propose the following building blocks for this partnership. First, building and expansion of transport, communication, energy, housing, and ICT infrastructure. Secondly, to facilitate mergers on collaborative arrangements between Asian companies and African companies, and promote linkages between micro, small, and medium, small-size enterprises on both sides of the Indian Ocean. To promote trade and investment between Kenya and Asia across the full spectrum of the economy and across the entire length of the value chain. And lastly, to collaborate in cultural exchanges, capacity building, information sharing as foundations for forging a new path of productivity and commerce. Indeed, today, I invite all of you to take advantage of the many trade and investment opportunities that Kenya and Africa offers within a framework of a stable and democratic nations, and also between Kenya and Singapore that offers a regional hub and gateway to Eastern also and Central African region, and indeed to the entire African continent. Finally, let me say that I am convinced that our collaboration can and will transform our economies and create greater shared prosperity for all our nations as we look forward to forging new partnerships.